Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hawa. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe, thumbs up. I make new videos every week, and if you're not, welcome back and thank you for always coming back. So today I'm going to do like a self-love type of video, self-care, self-acceptance, you name it. Basically, I actually started recording this video and I was like, yo, like the list was a bit too, I don't want to say harsh, but it wasn't like self-love 101. Like if you were at the bottom of the bottom, like where do you start, you know? It's very easy to say things like love yourself and you're gonna be like, yeah, sure, I didn't think about that now, did I? You know, when you're feeling down and like shit about yourself. Yeah, the last thing you're probably going to want to hear is love yourself more. Oh, I didn't think about that. Anyways, I was literally like on my second point or so, and I was talking about like body acceptance and stuff, and then it hit me that you have to have like a certain level of self-love to be able to do that, you know. But I kind of took a step back and decided, let's start from 101. So the list is going to go from like the most basic things you could do and like within it, because at the end of the day, self-love is a journey. Whatever stage you are, you don't stop consciously growing. Even if you're feeling confident and feeling ooh like I'm at the top of the world or whatever, you still have to make a conscious effort not to dwell on the negative and not to be in negative places in your head, on the outside or whatever, so you don't actually fall into the whole rabbit hole of terrible headspace, you know. So it's a conscious thing. If you want to grow out of it, you have to consciously and intentionally grow out of it. And even if you're out of it, you have to consciously and intentionally remain in a good space, physically, mentally, emotionally, and just everything. You know. Okay. Also, if you do want to check out this makeup look, it was my previous video, although I don't know what is looking. I did this makeup like 3-4 hours ago, so this is also kind of like a quality check or so, because I did a lot of things. I ate, I did a lot of things. Okay, and now let's just get into this video. Did I mention subscribe? Please subscribe if you haven't already. Gratitude. So basically, if you're like, it's the middle of the night, I don't know, I'm setting the scene for y'all. It's the middle of the night, you're feeling so shit about yourself, you're just like, ugh, I'm the worst. You're telling yourself all these terrible, horrible things, because that's what you do when you feel shit about yourself. I know why I'm smiling like that's a good thing. It's really not. I recently actually just got out of that funk. On a general level, I'm pretty decent. Like, I'm pretty good in terms of my headspace and all. But from time to time, honey, from time to time, I slip back into that funk and I'm just like, yeah. So I literally just got out of it, and I thought I could like share things that help me, that are helpful just in general. And that's basically why I decided to record this video, really. Okay, so first, gratitude. So, back to my saying, in the middle of the night, tell yourself all this stuff and all that. You could get up, grab a pen and paper. I do that. I feel like it's better to just write it down. List a couple of things that went well that day that you're grateful for. The idea behind the whole gratitude thing and how it helps you is not just about being thankful. Obviously it's good to be thankful, but it's the whole concept that makes your mind acknowledge that, hey, there are a lot of things that went well today. And by the time you start listing things you're grateful for, even if it was just that day or maybe that week, however you want to do it, you realize that really 1 out of 20, maybe one terrible thing happened, and all of these 20 good things happened that your mind just didn't focus on. Like, why was your mind focusing on that one negative thing and trying to ruin your entire day or your entire week when there's over like 20 things? It's just something to help you just acknowledge, to be like, it's not really all bad. you know, like there's good. It's right here. I'm looking at it. I wrote it down, you know, like your brain to make that switch. At the end of the day, that's why there's this whole saying about like being happy is a choice basically, because it's all in your mind. Your mind is very powerful. Your mind can make you, have you heard of the placebo effect? Like your mind can make you ill if it wants to, and if you let yourself. So anything you tell your mind, it believes. So one bad thing happening, you can dwell on that and you're going to be sad that whole day, probably even feel shit about yourself, probably even wake up the next day feeling shit. But if you focus on the positives, and one good way to do that is by listing down things you're grateful for, because then your brain sees that part of the day and you're like, oh, it's all good. Like it's really all good. You know. Okay, and then the second is, I'm trying to not make this video really long, so the second I have is affirmation. Say good things about yourself, you know. I just want to tell you, in fact, I'm not even writing affirmation. Gas yourself up. Gas yourself up on a regular, gas yourself up on a daily. Wake up and be like, good afternoon, girl. Okay. Just be like, just really gas yourself. Don't talk down, don't say negative things about yourself, even if it's in your head. And I know it's very easy to just be like, don't say negative things about yourself, but one thing that really helps is if you start like making a statement in your head, stop yourself right there, even if it's halfway, mid-sentence, and it's negative, like, oh my god, you're so ugly. So you can just be like, oh my god, you're, and then you're like, okay, no, hold up, I'm not going to say this about myself. I am not. Okay. And another way to help you is to make a list, get a pen and a pencil, and write down all of these things you feel about yourself. Like I said, self-love tip 101. This is also like a 101. So you just write down, can you hear that sound? That's so annoying. Anyways, you just write down things like I'm ugly, I'm poor, anything that you just think about yourself, because obviously at this point you're just thinking of all this dumb. It may also be hard writing it down, because now writing it down you're realizing like, why do I think this about myself? And it's looking terrible because you're like looking at it in front of you and you're like, so do it in pencil, skip a line, and then come back with your pen and write the opposite. Like I'm ugly, you write I'm beautiful. For the next thing, you write I'm smart in pen, and like just write the opposite, you know. Then when you're done, clean up those negatives, because honey, you don't want to see it, I don't want to see it, like nobody wants to see it. It shouldn't even be in your head in the first place, but you looking at it will make you realize just how bad it was in your head. So obviously you're going to feel shit if you tell yourself those bad things. So erase those negative thoughts, leave the positives, which is the opposite of what you've been thinking, and say those things. So that's like a tip for like finding affirmations to say to yourself. You can look into a mirror, say it out loud if you have to, honey, and say it and be like, I am smart, I'm amazing, I am. And you can make that a habit. If you make that a habit, then if you're consciously saying all these positives about yourself, even subconscious, your brain wouldn't know to say negative things anymore, because that's not how you talk about yourself. Don't talk down about yourself, even with people. Don't do that. Don't let people do the same to you. Don't. If you don't have anything good to say, don't just stop them halfway, like nah, we don't do that around here, you know. Don't do it to yourself, don't let people do it to you as well, you know. So your brain knows what to focus on. I'm focusing on I'm wealthy, I'm smart, I'm amazing, I'm useful, I'm beautiful, I'm everything good, you know. So your brain needs to focus on that. We don't need that negativity there, you know. So okay, I also discussed it like nah. Accepting compliments. This is something that in general, if you're feeling shit about yourself, you're just terrible at. When people compliment you, accept it. Don't give excuses. Be like, oh my god, you look so, I mean, it's the makeup, it's the this. No, you look so nice, thank you. Accept it, girl. Or if someone tells you, oh my god, like, this is based on physicals obviously, but like, whatever the compliment may be, this video is going to be too long if I think of like so many examples, but I'm just like trying to say, just accept compliments. Even if it's hard and you feel yourself biting, like on the inside, biting your tongue, trying to go, just be like, oh boy, whatever, just accept the compliment. Don't just say thank you. Maybe at first it starts off that way, where you're saying thank you awkwardly because you're fighting with yourself to accept it, but eventually you will get to that place where you're gonna be like, yes boo, yes, 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 like yes, 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 yes. Okay, celebrating yourself. See how I'm trying to make it make sense, like make it flow the topics. I had to sit down and rearrange this because I did at first. So anyway, celebrate yourself. If you accomplish something, no matter how little it is, it's just like the first point of gratitude and all that. Actually, like, celebrate yourself. If you've accomplished, don't say things like, well, so many people have done this, it doesn't matter, you're not so many people, you are you, and you just did it, and that is amazing. So give yourself props. Okay, I'm just saying, you need to celebrate yourself, because with celebrating yourself comes belief of deserving, like you deserve to be celebrated. You do, honey. Why do you think someone else deserves to be celebrated and not you? You know, celebrate yourself. Celebrate the littlest things. Give yourself props. Be happy. You don't necessarily have to throw yourself a party, but even if it's just that conscious, don't make your achievement seem so little. It's not little. You put in work to get there. It may have been a day's worth of work, but you did it regardless. You could have just not accomplished it, but you did. Even if it's finishing off everything on your to-do list, you did. Celebrate that thing. If you took a course, a 1-month course, and you finished and you're probably thinking, oh, it was just 1 month, it's not a big deal. It is, because you know what else you could have done? Not done it, but you did, so you celebrate it. Okay. Are we good? Are we communicating? All right, that's also like a little bit of 101, but a little bit after you've started gaining a sense of acceptance and stuff, you know. But yeah, taking care of yourself. I'm so proud of myself that I actually like laid this down reasonably. Oh my god. Okay, see, this is what I was talking about. Celebrate yourself. I'm happy. Bro, taking care of yourself. When I say taking care of yourself, I literally mean taking care of yourself. If you need to take 2 hours off today and just relax, meditate, go to the spa, or just give yourself a foot rub, I don't know, anything that you just want to do, honey, do it. Self-care. Because to be very honest, it takes such a level of self-love for you to want to do things for yourself anyways. So even if you don't want to do things for yourself, take a break midday or just once a week. Think to yourself, what can I do that is just for me in the whole type of self-care thing? You don't have to want to do it, but you know it's good. So it could be going to the spa. I don't really want to go to the spa. I'm not saying like if you hate going to the spas, go to the spa. You don't have to go to the spa. Just do whatever you want to do. Like, would be nice to do, but whatever. Yeah, that type of thing. Like, it would be nice for me to do it, but whatever. So you can take a day in a week, or maybe not a day, just a couple hours to do those things, which we're actually trickling down into my next point, which is doing things you enjoy. What it is you tend to, of course, when you're not really, if your bar, let's say your self-love bar is a little bit low, you tend to not care about the things you genuinely enjoy or you genuinely would have wanted to do, or even if it's with friends, you would probably like just not suggest it. But like, I kind of want to go bowling, but whatever, where do you want to go? Like, it's good to communicate and have that compromise and have balance. But if you're not like, oh, I want to do this, let's go do this, you know, even if it's once out of the 4 outings you guys are having, you know, like I said, compromise. You can do what the person A wants to do, tomorrow do what person B wants. But if you're always just like taking a back seat and not being vocal in that sense, then it's just essentially because in your head subconsciously, which is kind of sad, you feel like it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter really just means like you don't matter, like what you want doesn't matter. But if you make yourself do those things that you actually want to do, even if it's not, even if it's just self-care, it's not something that you like you can do without it. Obviously, like I can do without going to the spa, I can do without having my nails done, I can do without doing a facial. But if you want to do it, then do it, because it gives your, it's like setting standards. You not only set standards for people, but you also set standards for yourself. Like this Lisa Nichols, I love her, says you teach people how to treat you. So if you don't love yourself or if you don't treat yourself highly, then people are not going to treat you highly, because you treat yourself like shit. That's literally what they're going to mimic. Even if your friends like really love you and they're like, oh, stop doing this, stop saying this about yourself, maybe you share these things with them. The reality is, the minute you start taking yourself, the minute you start treating yourself highly, raise the bar for yourself, people start to mimic that behavior towards you. So when you do things that you genuinely want to do, it makes your brain, like your brain acknowledges, oh, I'm important, I want to do this, I'm going to do this. I don't want to do this, I'm not going to do this, you know, instead of just doing things just for the sake of doing them. Actually, like, do things that you genuinely want to do. Anything that takes like self-love to do will improve how you feel about yourself if you didn't have any self-love, you know, at the moment. Because it makes your brain just acknowledges you're important. The things I want to do are important. It may not be saving the world, but I want to do this, so do it, boo, do it. Let's just say we've gotten that point across, because this is getting too long. If you haven't, like, if you want me to go into it, you just comment down below, because I don't want it to be like excruciatingly long. Getting yourself out of negative situations, sis, bro, sis, uncles and aunties. See, if a situation is not serving you, carry your 2 legs and go. Let me tell you, so when I say situation, it could be the environment, it could be the people, it could just be that you just don't like the vibe. Like, the people didn't do nothing, but I just don't want to be here. Again, going back to that whole sense of deserving, acknowledging that you're important enough for you to be like, I'm not doing this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, out, you know. People that do not serve you right, bye. Sometimes they're your friends, and honestly, if your friends are being negative and your friends are hurting you, then you let them know. As a friend, if you tell your friends, see, if you're silent, then everything is on you, meaning it's your responsibility to get yourself out of that situation. But if you tell your friend, okay, doing this and this bothers me, if you say these things to me, it makes me feel like shit, I don't like it. Now it's on them. So when you let your friends know how they make you feel when they act a certain way or see certain things, and they don't change, they don't even make an effort, because you know when they're making an effort. If they don't do any of those things, like they don't even, it's, then at this point you can just you just be like, you don't even rate me, like, bro, you don't even, at this point you can just be pissed and walk out, you know, not necessarily have like a proper, like, not a physical fight or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, you acknowledge that, oh, okay, like, I guess you don't love me enough to care how I feel. But if the person makes an effort, any kind of effort, then you know that that person cares, and you guys are going to get through it together, or whatever. And sometimes people are just going through things, so you still be their friend, but from afar. Just don't put yourself in that situation where it crushes you, and like, because if you're both crushed, then nobody is doing nobody any good, you know. So keep your distance, be there, lend an ear when they need to be heard and listened to, but just don't put yourself in situations where your own energy will be crumbled, because what's the point of it if I can't help you? If I can't help myself, I can't help you. So yeah, that part. Also, just like relationships, if someone is treating you badly, you're just like, okay, just honestly be like, if you don't love me enough to treat me right, I'll love me enough to not tolerate that shit, okay? So bye. So don't stay in relationships that don't serve you, people that treat you badly, people that don't rate you. You know, someone doesn't rate you when they don't respect you, when they hurt your feelings, when you tell them they've hurt your feelings and they don't care. Not just saying sorry, that's not what I mean. Like making an actual effort to not do those things again, because I've already told you this is what it makes me feel like. If that person continues to do it, then you know that they genuinely do not care. Like, you're saying sorry simply because, oh, I'm confronting you now, and you just kind of have to say sorry, because if you genuinely cared, you would actively make a change, you know. And then situations, if a place you're staying, you don't like the energy, you don't like the vibe, you can change it. Or if it's a situation where you can't completely change, let's say it's not human based, and it's, let's say this is all the money you got, this is the only home you can rent or whatever. I don't know how to put this example. This will probably just, this advice can only apply to like scenarios, but the best I can say is change your perspective and look at the bright side. This one in particular can only be fused into an actual scenario, so we're just gonna roll with it. Know your body. Okay, there are a lot of people that don't know what they look like. Not like in a bad, it's a bad thing, but you feel like, just basically, in other words, accept yourself. Know exactly, this is on the physical, on the appearance level, know exactly what you look like and accept it. Because sometimes you feel like there's something wrong with you just because you don't look like the rest. And when I say you don't look like the rest, it's probably like you don't look like certain, or you don't have certain features that you've seen on TV or in the media, because that's what's prevalent, that's what you like see, and you think, oh, this is normal, right? And then because you don't have that one thing, or your lips don't look exactly like that, you think to yourself, then there must be something wrong with me. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have, like, who's to say that which you've seen on TV is better than that which you have, you know? Because let me give an example of like the most finest, who's the most finest person you can think of? You know, everyone always says, oh, everyone has something they don't like about themselves, right? So you meet the most finest person and you ask them what they don't like about themselves, and they tell you something, and they tell you they're working on it or whatever. And my question is, what is it exactly what is this perfect we're working towards? What is it? If you can think of the most finest person and they also have like something they want to change, so what is the image we're trying to get to? My guess is a lot of people just see people unhappy with themselves or trying to change a certain thing about themselves, and they also start to be like, looking at themselves and thinking, do I need to change something? Is there something wrong with me? Or if you see someone trying to like change their lips, you're like, oh my god, is something wrong with my lips now? Do I need to look into my lips? Do I need to? Because I'm just like, that's why people get addicted to surgery and things like that. And if you've done your lips or if you've done any part of your body, I'm not saying it's bad, that's totally not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, what are we trying to accomplish? You know, because if you ask yourself, what is it that you don't like about yourself, and let's say it's your nose, maybe I don't like my nose, so you go in and like change your nose and you're done. Who's to say a year later you're not going to not like a certain feature in your body? Do you just keep changing it, or do you get what I'm saying? Like, and the problem is actually the reason behind not liking it. It's not because it's not good, it's not because it's not functional. Are you breathing? You're breathing, that's what the nose is for. You know, it's not because it's not functional, it's just because you've seen this certain type of features, this certain type of standards that maybe the media has said. That's why people always push the narrative like representation matters. It really does. But you've seen this a lot of times that it's the norm, that you not looking like that makes it look like there's something wrong with you, but the reality is there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, if you can walk up to that person that you think is perfect and you ask them and there's still something they want to change on their bodies, and don't you just wonder, like, where does it end? Like, where does it really end? Where are we going to? Where are we headed? So I'm just gonna leave that there and food for thought. Your self-love, ooh, this one's good. Your self-love should not depend on anything. By that I mean it shouldn't depend on physical appearance, it shouldn't depend on other people, because there are some people that love themselves real good when they get those likes on Instagram, but then if they don't, something's wrong, honey. Your self-love should not depend on that. It shouldn't depend on Instagram likes, social media fame. It should not depend on other people actually acknowledging it. It shouldn't depend on, this is something I'm actually working on personally. I feel like my self-love is kind of dependent on my success. Not 100%, but I feel really, really shit about myself if I don't make things happen. Like, if I set out to design a project and I don't design it perfectly or as good as I wanted it to, I feel shit. I'm not going to I feel shit. I start feeling like I'm worthless, or I'm like, it's one of those things that triggers me being in my funk. Remember how I said I was in my funk a few couple days? It was something relating to this. So like little things like that can just trigger. Okay, yeah, the reason why your self-love shouldn't be dependent on anything other than yourself is for that reason. Because if your self-love is dependent on social media, so what if the social media breaks, or if you don't get enough likes or you don't get comments, then what? Then that's it. You don't love yourself anymore. Suddenly you're not worth anything. All of a sudden you're worthless, you know? Like, it shouldn't depend on beauty either, because okay, so let's say you've always had flawless skin. Now you have acne and blemishes all of a sudden you don't love yourself anymore. Like, you know, like that can easily be thrown out, that can easily be erased at any time. I want you to have a type of self-love that even if you had like acne, or even if you failed your projects or didn't accomplish, besides it's not failure, it's just, but yeah, let's just use the word failure because that's just too long now. Even if you failed your project, even if people don't like you, even if people don't acknowledge and approve you, I need you to have that type of self-love that would not even depend on all of those things. That even if you're at the worst of your worst, basically is all I'm saying, you still love yourself and you still rate yourself. That's the type of self-love you need to have, because that type of energy is what takes you places, is what even helps you with all the other things that you're thinking about when it comes to beauty. Have you ever like watched a fashion show? Let's just use like a basic ass fashion show. Watch the fashion show and some of those clothes, I'm sorry, they're just ugly, but then the way they wear, the way they exude confidence, the way they just walk down, they carry themselves, you just see and feel that confidence, and you're like, you know what, I'm not even mad at it. Like, I'm not even, that top is questionable, but I'm not mad at it. Like, everything seems to be put together, everything seems to be, that's because the way you carry yourself and the way you rate yourself and the way you feel about yourself will help you in all of those departments. Physical appearance, success in doing things, because if you feel shit about yourself, you don't want to put 100% into a project. Like, you don't even, first of all, you don't even want to take that project, and if you're in a situation where you have to take that project, you're not even going to give it 100% because you're just like, can I do this? I can't do this. You're just full of self-doubt now. You already feel like you're useless, so what could I possibly affect? Like, what part of, like, what thoughts or what can I offer that's good, and just in life and progression with friends as well. Like, when you feel small about yourself, you don't give 100% of yourself simply because you feel like you're shit. Like, so making your self-love independent from any of those factors or other factors that I have not mentioned is really the way forward, so that when you're at the bottom of the bottom, you still rate yourself and it will help you get back to the top. With that, I'm going to end this here. I hope everything I said makes sense. I hope I can put it together in one video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I genuinely hope you found it helpful. I feel like this is a video that I would personally even go back to sometimes, because like I said, sometimes, man, life just, and you need to get back up. Just don't stop the fight. Like, as long as you're alive, keep fighting, keep trying to get better, keep trying to grow, keep trying to, don't give up the good fights. This is a good fight, okay? Love yourself more. You're awesome. Tell yourself that every day if you have to. Set a reminder. Probably your reminder should wake you up. Your alarm should wake you up in the morning, and when you look at your phone, be like, you're awesome. I don't know, like, look for ways to just infuse it in your day. When people compliment you, be like, yes, 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 I know. Or you just volunteer to let them know I'm awesome, you know. I don't know. Just like, yeah, let me know. Do you guys like this type of videos? Maybe anytime I go through my emotional breakdown, I'll just come here and spew about emotions and love and all that stuff. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment whatever video you like me to do next, subscribe as well. Check out this makeup look in my previous video. I'm going to put it at the end, on the end cards. And yeah, follow me on my social media: Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Snapchat, SHNAPPT, and I'm write it down. Follow me, and I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I always keep coming back, especially if you got to the end of this video. I do appreciate you, and goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't tryna grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't tryna link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record.